Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on the Pro League Round 2 playoffs between MBC Game and CJ, and this is Game 4 of the playoffs, and this is being played between Bisu and Iris, playing under his old nick of Berserker, and it is being played on Katrina, which is one of the reasons why I've picked this map, considering what an excellent contest we saw Bisu take part in. He's not looking much sharper in person than he did the other day. He's not looking like the old Bisu Bruce Lee style ninja, but definitely his win versus Zelos was inspiring. And actually, before I focus mainly on this game, there was one thing I wanted to mention about the last game that I noticed later on with regards to Bisu's intention to harass. When he first got his Reaver and shuttle ready, he actually had his shuttle moving towards opponent's base, towards Zelos' base, but it was at that point in time this observer just saw the starport, and I think that's why he decided not to harass, and that was when he decided to block his choke with the second gateway and switch to fast carriers when he saw that starport. And I think that was the key moment. He saw the starport, felt his harass wouldn't be effective, felt that he would lose his shuttle and Reaver to a Wraith combo when adapted well. So if you think about it in that respect, it bodes well for Bisu to say that he adapted rather than just got lucky. This is versus Iris though, and I would say Iris is a far better Terran player than Zelos at this point in time, even though Zelos has had, I would suppose, more luck and has progressed further in the Star Leagues and in actually qualifying for the Star Leagues, and Iris nowhere really on the pro scene this season. And really Iris just hasn't recovered from that big massive loss to GG Play. It went right down to the wire. Either both players deserved to be champion. Unfortunately, there could only have been one. It was GG Play on that occasion. The other factor this time, we are again still on Katrina, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of strategy these players go for. But whether or not they take the fast expander, it certainly doesn't look like Iris is going to take the fast expander. He's going for his barracks first, and it looks like, and he's taking his refinery as well. So Iris going for a tech build. Bisu looks like he's going to fast expand. So this time Bisu not going for the tech build. This time he's going to fast expand. I think this might not be very good for Bisu, considering that the base positions are closer. That being said, Protoss versus Terran, there is a massive advantage on this map for Protoss players, and Bisu's already shown us what he can do. But I think Bisu might find himself a little bit of trouble with Iris teching, and Iris setting that SCV to scout in the correct direction. He's going to find Bisu. The other factor is that Bisu is at the 12 o'clock position, Iris is at the 9 o'clock position. So with relatively close bases for both players, it's going to make it much easier for Iris to push ahead. And if Iris spots what Bisu is doing, and he really should be able to, Bisu unfortunately is scouting the wrong direction. So by the time Bisu's probe gets around, this is going to be bad for Bisu, because he doesn't know that Iris is going to be teching, and nevertheless Iris has walled off his choke anyway. So Iris has now gone in. He's seen that gateway come up quite late, and he's seen the assimilator as well. So literally from the timing of the assimilator in the gateway, Iris should have an idea of what Bisu is doing. Nevertheless, he's going to confirm by going through to Bisu's natural expo and see that Bisu has set up the natural expo. And again, one of the things that really helped Bisu a lot when the Terran push came, and Iris already starting up that factory, when the Terran push came, was the fact that the Goliaths really couldn't be amassed. It took a long time for the Goliaths to travel all the way across the map to support his units, to support Zelos' units, and Bisu now putting up the Cyberknight score as soon as the gateway is up. So Bisu's early game defense is going to be critical here. He might opt for blocking that choke, anticipating that, but the problem is that Bisu doesn't realize what Iris has done. He's seen the SCV in his base. He doesn't realize whether or not Iris is fast expanded or whether Iris is teched. So, but he has opted to put that second gateway down, so all he needs to do is plant a couple of Dragoons in the middle. Iris is not going to have spider mines early on, so he won't be able to break through that. And really, I think Iris needs to get the factory machine shop down straight away, because he knows what his opponent is doing in terms of tech, and I think Iris needs to get an early push in here. But let me see if Iris tries to do what Zelos did. I think Zelos made a mistake, and Iris is building a starport as well, so we saw Zelos do this as well, and Iris doing it as well now. And again, perhaps the purpose, it's interesting, the purpose that probably so that he would have the maneuverability to be able to drop, realizing that Bisu is able to drop his block his choke, and that's why Terran player seems to be going for the starport. I think Iris again doing the right thing in terms of focusing on his tech, because that was where his lead is. He's the tech lead. I think when players try to play catch up, I think it invariably goes against them. If you're behind, if you got the tech lead and you're behind in economy, if you try to switch to economy and try and play that way, you're basically surrendering the initiative and the impetus to the opponent. And I think Iris is doing the absolutely right thing. Instead of going for that command center straight away, he's focused on his tech instead. He's got the Stargate down. So I thought he would. He's got the starport down. I thought he would go for the push, but it looks like he's going to go for a drop instead, realizing that Bisu is relying mainly on his block at his Stargate to defend it. And now this time, remember, last time versus Zelos, Bisu did have the advantage of the Reaver to help him defend. He does not have that this time around, and I don't think he's going to actually be able to get that up by the time his opponent, and now Iris with his first vulture out, just killing that scouting probe of Bisu's. Bisu now sending a couple of Dragoons and Zealot out just to maybe pressure Iris a little bit and try and slow him down. The machine shot whizzing away, so it looks like he's going to get Spider Mines first, and it looks like Iris is going to be going for a vulture drops. If Iris can do some damage to Bisu's economy, he'll be right back in this game, and Iris now looks like he started taking his natural expo as well, down at the 7 o'clock position. I just see something in the mini-map, I'm not sure if he's actually started, and Iris has already got those Spider Mines down. Bisu, I'm not sure where his tech is at the moment. He might be possibly going for fast carriers again, but I think Iris would be ready to cope with it. I'm sure he's aware that is a possibility at this point in time, and Iris is now getting his dropship out, and it'll be just interesting where Bisu's tech is at. I just love to have a look at his base and see where his tech is at. He's got the Citadel of Udden up, so this is critical here. Bisu's got the Citadel of Udden up. I don't think Iris has got an academy up yet. He's putting the robotics facility up as well. So, and the Templar archive is indeed going up, so we might see a DT drop coming here from Bisu, and it'll be interesting what Iris has, if anything, to cope with this. But meanwhile, Bisu's got to have some defending to do with his own. Iris, I think, is going to see this probably in time. He's going to see that when he goes for the drop. Undoubtedly, he's going to go and drop in Bisu's natural expo. Bisu not having the Reaver this time, only having a few Dragoons. Iris has got Vulture Mines, so it's going to come down to micro here, but Bisu will find himself a little bit stretched because he doesn't have that many units, and Iris with the Lone Marine running alongside the dropship, and Iris now going to drop. Bisu trying to intercept the drop as it drops. He's going to get at least one of the Vultures out. Decent micro by Bisu. The problem for Bisu is because he didn't go get the Observatory up, he has nothing to look after these Spider Mines, so he's actually doing some decent play there, actually trying to pick off the Spider Mines with the one Dragoon, and that's great by Bisu. He's actually managed to micro his Dragoons to the point of only losing a single Dragoon to those Vulture Spider Mines, so he's not going to take too much of a hit to his economy. I think Iris managed to kill 3 or 4 probes off there.